seconds. Wait for your picture to appear. We're good.
Welcome to this meeting of the Finance and Governance Committee, which is being held on the 12th of August 25 at Newton Leeds Pavilion. I am Keith Healy and I'm chairing this meeting. There are some housekeeping items that we will go through. The fire exits are front and back of this building. The fire assembly point is in the car park in the front of this building. Toilets are located behind me. Can you turn off your mobiles or put them on to silent? We want everyone to be able to hear, so please respect whoever is speaking by not chatting amongst yourselves. Also, you should be aware that the meeting is being recorded and the recording may be streamed on our social media channels. I will now ask members of the committee to introduce themselves, starting with Richard.
Richard Graham, Vice Chairman of the Council and Councillor for Central Bletchley.
Craig Scott, Manor North and Eton Lees.
Simon O'Rourke, Fenny, Stratford.
William Rand for Granby.
Rodine, Central Bletchley and Stadium.
And the officers of council?
Yeah, Alison Brown, Finance Manager.
John Fairclough, Deputy Clerk.
Right, thank you very much. We'll now proceed to item 1. Note apologies for absence.
Yes, Chair, we've got apologies from Councillors Fernandez, Kelly Wilson, Simile and Blackman.
Right, thank you. Item 2, to note councillors' direct declarations of interest in matters on the agenda. Are there any matters of interest? No? Right, thank you very much. 3, to approve the draft minutes of the previous meeting of the committee. Those in favour? Thank you, unanimous. Public speaking time, is there anything?
No, we've had no representations.
Lovely, thank you. Item 5, to review and comment on any planning applications due for review by Milton Keynes City Council. 5.1, 2B Cambridge Street. Change of use from C2 supported housing to C3 dwelling houses and associated alterations to create 6-number 2-bedroom apartments. Are there any comments? That's your area, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the old hostel.
Sorry?
It's the old hostel.
Yeah. All right, thank you. So no comment?
Yeah.
5.2, 32 Oakwood Drive, proposed first floor side extension. Any comments? No. Right, thank you. No comment. Item 6, to review and note the financial management information report showing income and expenditure against budget for the year to the 31st of July 2025. So it's the third of the year through our budget. Pages 7 to 18.
Chair, would you like me just to highlight a couple of points?
Yes, please.
Obviously, you've got the budget and everything. I know it kind of, there's an item later on in the agenda where this is relevant. So I just highlight in terms of our community grants. Obviously, Fenny Poppers is not going ahead this year, so we anticipated a budget of 6,300, so that will not be spent. Also, just. Yeah, and just for those, I know you are all familiar, but just to highlight, it's been asked before, obviously the allotment income is still basically zero. That all kind of comes in September and October. That's when the tenancy year starts, 1st of October. Also, I'd just like you to note that the wellbeing, the free swims, we finally got the figures from Bletchley Leisure Centre, and actually our anticipated budget, the figures seem to be coming in a lot less than we anticipated. And that is the same, West Bletchley are finding that, West Bletchley Council are finding that. So
is that less people swimming or?
we're not sure, but so
Potentially, sorry, Chair.
yeah.
Potentially it's because of
timetabling changes where
Yeah,
there's a lot less, open swimming sessions for people to use, and it's taken up by other classes and stuff. That could be potentially.
it could be. And lastly, obviously, our income from interest received. We did anticipate a reduction in interest rates, and obviously with the Sycamore Hall project, we will be utilising some of our cash reserves. So there is potentially going to have, we are going to have more income than budgeted, but not by much, and especially now the interest rates are reducing. So
Right. So that takes us up to page 18. Any comments?
So regards to Fenny poppers and that 6,300.
Yep.
Will that just be going back into reserves or?
Well, there's another item on the agenda later
right,
on
okay.
which picks up that variance.
But at the moment, it does go back.
It does.
Yeah.
Right.
Just looking at some of the services, like IT spend as an example, already on 115% spent year to date. Is that
the councillor IT? Democratic
Yeah.
Services. Yes, well, this is where it's actually we decide we're going with Modern Gov onto a cloud-based format, and there was an additional setup fee that wasn't budgeted for. So,
great? Yeah.
but that's
the
not
renewal.
a recurring.
Yeah. Okay.
Cost.
One of.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Any other comments? No?
So in regards to looking at gas and electricity and water, the contracted rates, good.
Yeah,
Or
they-
across.
Yeah, they're far more,
retailers and
yeah,
stuff
they're
like
far
that.
more stable now. We've tried to optimise any contracts we've set up for.
Right, okay, thank you. So now we move on to items.
So we're noting that.
Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
no, agreed.
Yeah.
Item 7, to review and note cash and investment reconciliations to the 31st of July, pages 19 to 42. Item 7, please.
Nothing really to add, Chair. Obviously a member of the Finance Committee signs off the bank recs every month now.
Yep.
There are financial regulations.
You do this month, then, Ron? Thank you, Ron. So to review and note, agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. Item 8, to review and note the council's balance sheet at the 31st of July, pages 43 to 48.
Nothing to add really. It's fairly self-explanatory.
Okay. So that's noted. Item 9, to ratify a list of payments made or due to be made to the 31st of August, page 49. Any comments? Anything outstanding there,
No,
Alison?
no.
I can't catch up with the agenda, actually. 3:49 in a minute.
Yeah, that's,
Fine, generally.
9, yep.
yeah, that's.
Yep, okay. So as to ratified?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Item 10, to note the completion of the annual governance and accountability return for 24-25. No matters were brought to the attention of the council by the external auditor. The completion of the external audit has been advertised on the town council's websites and notice boards. Any comments on that? That is page 55 to 60.
If there's nothing being brought up by the external auditor, then there's nothing for us to.
I just think we should note that this is, again, complete bill of health we've got on our finances, and there's no small measure to the finance manager. And I think that she should be thanked and congratulated on our behalf for doing such a wonderful job and for getting these completely clear financial statements on a regular basis.
Thank you.
So, Alison, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ron. So are they noted?
Noted.
Noted.
We then go to item 11. To review the following policies for recommendations to full council. And I'm not going all through them, I'm assuming everyone has read them. 11.1, the training policy.
Yeah, I can't comment really on this. This is the clerk produced this document. Obviously, she's looking for comments prior to approval of full council, so she's happy with it.
Are we satisfied with the document, training document?
There wasn't any significant changes inside the documents. I mean, I'm sure the chair would have brought that to our attention if there was any significant changes to any of the policies that are in them packs. So, yeah.
That's right. 61, yeah. Yeah, it's a training and development for both councillors and employees. And if you remember, we normally highlight any changes in yellow, and we haven't got them. I think there's some on
the finance
regulations.
Yeah,
aren't there?
should we come to that? So the training policy,
Sorry.
you're happy as it
Yes.
stands, or?
Yes. Are we agreed? Recommend to full council?
Yeah.
Agreed. Thank you. Sorry, Alison. Yeah.
Yeah.
Financial regulations.
Yeah, there's the only, sorry, Chair, the only changes are really in the appendix about the tendering process, because obviously with the procurement of Sycamore Hall, we've decided to use the framework. And now our financial regulations, as they stood, don't recognise utilisation of a framework. So we wanted to make sure they reflected that. And also we've taken out any reference to tendering sent through the post. We use an electronic system now. We have designated email for tenders to be received. So this amendment to the appendix is just reflecting that.
Yep. If you remember, we're using the PAGBO framework at the moment for this one. So,
Agreed.
so to review, note, and agree.
Agree, yeah.
So recommendation for full council. Yep.
Yep.
Thank you. Agree. And then 11.3 standing orders.
Yeah,
Thank you.
this obviously, sorry, Chair, the standing orders had to be reflected because that picks up some aspects of the financial regulations, and it's actually point 18.
There we go. Page 104.
18, financial controls and procurement, and then it's C, points 3 to 5. So really, once again, we're just taking out the option of tenders being submitted by post. We only accept tenders into the designated email address, and obviously reflecting the fact that we may wish to use a framework for future procurement, as we are doing with Sycamore Hall. That's yes.
Just one comment. I'm not sure we should say opened at the same time. You can't open all of the emails at the same time.
No.
Should that not just be all tender?
You couldn't do that with a postal submission either, really.
No, so should we not say all tender document emails shall be opened on the prescribed date?
Oh, yeah.
And just remove the at the same time part, just for any ambiguity.
Good point.
Same time on prescribed date.
Yeah, shall be opened on the prescribed date by the arbitrator.
Oh, right, yeah. Take that out.
Yeah, so we just need to take out.
Yeah,
at
was
the same time.
the financial, I'm just trying to wonder if the financial regulations had that in as
I
well.
don't think it did.
No.
Sorry.
No. Yeah, no, that's fine. No, I can amend that.
Thank you.
So with that amendment, sorry, do we agree the amendment?
Yeah.
Yes. Right, thank you. So with that amendment, do we recommend standing orders to full council?
Yeah.
Agreed? Agreed. Unanimous.
Okay.
Thank you very much. There we go. Item 12, to review and approve the disposal of assets.
Shall I speak on this, Chair?
Oh, yes, please.
I would hope the report is fairly self-explanatory. You know, we are trying to, obviously, we have got some assets within Sycamore Hall that are not fit for purpose, either damaged, they're out of date, you're not able to, you know, there's a printer in there which is so old you cannot get replacement cartridges for. But obviously, our financial regulations, any asset over £250, we need committee approval to dispose of. So obviously I have a list there with specific assets.
How are these get disposed?
Well, that's the issue in respect of, you know, the safe in there. We originally had, as a council, 2 safes. We have the big one in the house, and this small one used to be used for market income, and obviously we don't take cash for market income. It's exceptionally heavy. We need to, obviously, hopefully we should be working on the builds very soon. It's a very heavy piece of equipment. It's quite a specialised thing to dispose of, so I need to sit to and get rid of that, assuming I get the authority to do that.
Right. Any comments from anyone? Are we happy to accept the disposal of assets as listed?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, agreed.
for sure.
Thank you. That's item 12.
Lovely.
Item 13, to review and approve revised weekend hire charges for Newton Leeds Pavilion, pages 111 to 112. Right, well, you'll see that the rate on this basis will be reduced by £55. Potential reduction in higher income. What is your thoughts?
Can I just say something, Chair? Obviously, the actual recommendation was from the Employment Policy Committee for reducing the opening hours of Newton Leeds Pavilion. In consultation with the bookings officer, obviously, we have reviewed the pricing mechanism as well. The fact we're not going to be open so late, we need to be in line with other community buildings. So by reducing it, it's more in line with other rates applied with other local councils.
There's 2 ways of looking at this. Richard. There's 2 ways of looking at this. Is it an hourly charge we're making, or is it a lump sum charge we're making for the hire? Now, the existing charge was based on an hourly rate, and then it worked out on the so many pounds per occasion. And if that's the case, then we should reduce it by the £55.
So I'm just trying to ascertain the thinking beyond reduced hours.
Well,
Sorry, Chair. It's the fact that as a community building, we acknowledge the fact that it's going to be a lot more building nearer this facility. We don't want to be upsetting members of the public. Some of these having a late night opening hours, noise pollution,
there have been problems, haven't they?
There have been problems.
Getting people out of the building.
Yeah.
All right, the hire, if the hire finished at 11:30, that's the time that they started leaving the building. By the time you got the last lot out, it could be 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, the noise out there was unacceptable. So it was agreed that the hours would be cut back.
And sorry, Chair, can I also point out, I believe that safety was one of the aspects that the Employment Committee looked at as well, because there is 3 members of staff on call. 2 of those are women. When there's been issues, it's very late at night you're being called.
At some stage, I would have thought we've got to review the whole aspect of our opening hours for our various, because we're soon going to have 3 halls. Fenny, Stratford, this one, and we're going to have Sycamore Hall. So they're going to be major players in the community hire system. And I think that we need fairly soon to get a strategy together on what our opening hours and our thoughts are going to be regarding security, regarding access to the building and getting people out of it on time. And it may be that we will have to change our thinking to some extent. But I think this is a short-term measure, which I think as an interim measure is satisfactory. And I think we've got to take the advice of, well, I think we should take the advice of our lettings office, who says that we need to keep competitive with our competitors.
At the same time, why don't we pick sort of same, I think we want people to leave 11 o'clock. So give them 10 o'clock till they can do the function and 1 hour go to empty the building.
Yeah, that's the idea behind it, yeah.
But what you'll find is that, you know, regards to bookings, may drop off because they're not getting the times that they want. And, you know, I mean, I've been in hospitality all my life and working in community centres and stuff like that. You know, do we put ourselves in a position where, say, for instance, the hours that people actually want to book the reception or whatever situation may be, versus the fact that we need to have more robust thinking in respect of managing people at the end of the night. That's the difference.
Well, I think that's right, because we've got three totally different sort of locations for the halls, haven't we? We've got Fenny, Stratford, which is in a totally residential area, surrounded by residents and housing. This one is fairly well isolated. It's not too bad at all.
At the present time, Chair.
Well, that's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
And then we've got Sycamore Hall, which again is slightly close to Drayton Road properties and Buttermere Close, I think. But that's got to be again looked at. But I think it would be better to look at the whole our business together when it's appropriate, and they're all up and nearly wrong.
Yeah, but what you got to realise, this hall is here before the houses. If they don't want to live near a hall, don't move there.
Yep.
You know, so we're here first.
Yep.
You know, and this is
Just
business. This belongs to the public.
Yep.
You know, so we've got to put that first.
And I think that's what needs to be looked at, Ron, as part of an overall strategy review.
We had same issue in Hilton Hall, where the guy saying that when the cars come out, the light hitting my window. I said, well, then I checked it. The hall been built in 1942 or something. Yeah. I said, when did you move into the house? He said 3 years ago. I said, can you search it? There's a hole there and the people can have a function. And he said, no, but they need to do something about it. I said, they pay millions of pounds for this place and they're going to do the function. Yeah. Sometimes when you start listening to these sort of people, I'm not mentioning, but they go to, if you give them chance to complain, they go run to those complaints. Tell them this is the rules and we play by it.
Let's try and stick it to Newton Leys at the moment. Are we agreed that we reduce the charge, or I propose that we reduce the charge by £55 to reflect the reduction in opening hours? Can I have a seconder?
Only on a temporary basis.
Sorry?
Only on a temporary basis.
Okay, I'll accept that, yeah, only as a temporary basis.
I'll second that then.
I think we'll, saying what the clerk said about two women coming out on one mat, you should be looking at employing a firm to close the place up.
Yeah.
Chair, sorry, I'll just let you know, we have Securitas come and lock up the building, but there's some issues where if the emergency door release is pressed, or we have problems with the door, we know as members of staff how to sort those issues out. Securitas do not, and we end up being called. Most of the time we can address it just through a telephone call, but
not always.
Not always.
I didn't mean just for locking up. I meant for the evening.
Yeah.
We have tried that.
But you know, hang on. This is something that needs to be reviewed for all the buildings, for all our assets. And I think I totally agree with you, Eamon. But let's stick just to this hall here. So I'm proposing that we accept the reduction of £55 on the reduction in opening hours on a temporary basis. It's a recommendation. Is it a recommendation or proposal? Yes, to approve. So we approve.
On a temporary basis then?
Yeah.
Yeah, a temporary basis, because we might need the money for the security.
Yeah.
Well, when will it get reviewed and when will it come back for discussion?
Because shall we then say that to be reviewed prior to the opening of Sycamore Hall. Yeah,
It needs to be reviewed well before that.
oh, yeah, I agree.
So we need to discuss whether, I mean, I just need to understand whether that we're making enough income so that the building itself is wiping its feet and is bringing the income to sort of like sustain itself.
Well, we know it's not.
Well, this is what we spoke about many moons ago, was that we want to put these buildings into a position where they actually turn over enough money so it wipes its feet. Do you know what I mean? So that we're not subsidising the building itself. So the income generated from whatever activities are going on in there will go towards the running of the building. And that's what we said a long time ago.
Optimistic, Richard.
Well, not necessarily, you know, we have to discuss this as members, how that can be done.
Right, so that is an addendum, that the review takes place prior to the opening of Sycamore Hall, and that all three establishments are reviewed. Yep,
Have a discussion about it.
right. With those caveats, those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you, Ray.
Okay.
Item 14, to note the revised contract with Konica Minolta.
You could just say something,
Yes,
Joe?
please.
You know, we've used Konica Minolta as a supplier of our multi-use photocopier at the office, and we have done for many years. The reason we go out for procurement. Konica Minolta are part of a purchasing consortium. They always provide very competitive quotes. I've actually had two companies come to me, okay, what can we do about your printing? And they were never able to meet the competitive pricing that Konica can give. So the clerk used a delegated decision to sign up for another 5 years. Very close. So it's really just
to note.
Make finance and governance aware. So
It's just a note, isn't it?
yep.
Well, and also to agree the actions of the clerk.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because the clerk, sorry?
Ratify the delegation.
Yeah. So, yeah, because the clerk has agreed to it. Is that agreed? Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you. Item 15, to approve a community infrastructure funding application. This is on page 129. Do you want to speak on that one?
I'll just point out that this current financial year, we do not have a community infrastructure. We didn't apply for community infrastructure funding for any projects. But obviously the application, this is for 26-27, the application deadline for projects for that financial year, the deadline is 31st of August. So I believe Community and Environment came up with some ideas which have been detailed in the report that obviously Finance and Governance need to agree whether you would like to put these forward to detailed costings. Obviously the timescale is tight.
Right. I must admit the one I particularly like is the provision of disabled access swings across multiple play areas. I think that's a major asset.
Yeah, that was something that you brought up, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you, Ron?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Because there's nothing in the on reg for disabled kids. And some guy that looks after disabled kids asked me about it. About a year or so ago, I said, I've got to find the money from somewhere. And then once I knew this was coming up, I thought, way to do it. And then we've got some play areas in Beyond Reg, Later State and places like that. You know, put them in.
Well, I presume we can apply for a number up to the value of £40,000.
Yes. Yeah,
We pay
20,000 from
We get 20
funding and then we match
get
it.
20 and they get 20.
Yeah.
So, are there any others we would like?
There was 3 on there.
Yeah, so from the committee meeting, we had,
Marie brought up something up about,
yeah, you can see the pictures in there.
Yeah.
The trim trail, which is the fitness equipment that goes along certain areas and also the kind of children puzzle, which he came up with the puzzle bits and pieces that I think are in Emberton Park.
Yeah, so the idea of being fitness along the redways.
Yeah, so the suggestion was along this, the pitches starting here along the redways from here down towards the Blue Lagoon, that stretch. Yeah. So
along that route, there'll be different activities to go along that route as you run it. You can stop and train and then crack on, and as well as doing that, to have something to do with the kids along there as well.
Yep, just hold on a minute. All right.
Yeah. Still.
Okay. Well, do we make provision for all three, or do we apply for one in particular?
I think all three.
Yeah, I think at the meeting, sorry, Chair, the meeting was suggested a blend, depending on costings, a blend of the three suggestions. I think that's what Richard would probably agree that was kind of recommended.
Yeah, right. So are we to approve the community and grant infrastructure for the application?
Yeah.
Agree?
Yeah.
Agreed. Thank you. Item 16, to consider the Community and Environment Committee's recommendation to expand the wellbeing counselling provision and refer the proposal to full council for approval, pages 133 to 138. Right, do you want to speak to this one?
Yeah, I think the idea is obviously the West Bletchley Wellbeing Service, as per the report says, that the demand for counselling sessions is but in excess of what they're currently providing on our behalf. And they would like to offer more counselling sessions on perhaps a temporary basis for the rest of the financial year, and we will have to look at the budget for next year. As I pointed out earlier, there is savings in certain areas. In particular, there's no grant to Fenny Poppers this year, and also we do have a slight saving on the swimming lessons, the subsidised swimming. So the money is there. It's just a question of whether you feel you can support additional counselling sessions for the rest of this year, a potential cost of another 7,500.
Well, because what come up at the meeting, because a quarter of the year is already gone.
Yeah.
There'd only be 3/4 of the year.
Yeah.
And it's five extra places, is it? Five?
So at the moment, we fund 18 referrals per quarter. You'll see in the report, they want to increase that to 25 referrals for the last 3 quarters. I think the committee meeting last week were in support of that and wanted to recommend to this committee that that you consider it for a proposal to full council, because they are kind of high, and then consider for 26-27 in the budget. We had to do this last year, if you remember rightly, Chair, and we had the same situation where they came to us asking for more referrals because they're inundated.
Well, where does it end is the problem.
Well, that's what we probably need to consider next year. Do we increase it?
One of the situations was that, as I remember, they came back to us for more hours because they didn't think that the hours that they were spending with any one person was enough, and they wanted us to pay for more hours per session. And that is what I wanted to get an idea of. What is the situation now with counselling? Because counselling, as I know it, is a very difficult area, and you don't know what individuals need and want, and how many sessions they're going to need and want. And so, my question is really what are we providing? How many hours is that per session? Is that enough for any one person? Do you know what I mean? Or do we just go, right, you allow 2 hours? You allow 2 hours, and then there's 25 people for 2 hours. But actually, you might need 3 or 4 hours per session. And so that is what I need to understand about what money we're putting in versus the outcome for each patient. Because counselling is a very grey area, and we don't know whether you're getting fulfilled or you're getting fulfilled or you're getting fulfilled within inside your sessions. So do we put more people through, or do we give more people more hours per session? I would like to see a report of that for the money that we're spending, instead of saying, oh, let's put more people through but they're not getting, but they actually
Should we
need.
give
Well,
more time?
each client gets 6 sessions, so each referral you'll get 6 sessions. So they're at the moment they're saying that the 6 sessions are enough for one referral. However, they're getting more people come to them and say that I need help, I need this, I need that.
But where's it stopped? We can go 30, 40.
Yeah, we know it's going to go up and up, right? So we have to draw the line somewhere. I think this was just to kind of help out with their current capacity, which the committee agreed to last week, to increase it to 25 referrals per quarter rather than 18, which it turns out to be the equivalent of that amount of money over the last 3 quarters. So yeah, they do get 6 sessions per referral. We get all sorts of reports on kind of, which you can see in the report if you go further down.
How else are they funded?
How else are they funded? So they get so West Bletchley Council also provide funding for them as well.
Do we know what they provide?
I don't know in terms of figures. I know they provide. So the location they're in, the premises is owned by West Bletchley Council, Town Council. So I know they get that premises for free, I believe. So they get the use of which is like a house with all the different counselling rooms in.
So
I'm not sure where else they get.
So the bit that I'm struggling with is, do we pay an arbitrary figure, or do we pay a cost per referral?
Cost per release.
Yeah,
But it doesn't add up, does it? 25,000, does that add up? 18 referrals for 25,000 over the course of a year. An increase to support 25.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I read that as an
I can
increase.
get.
I was just curious. Okay, so it's a cost per referral.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so what we looked at, as we had that extra money from Fenny profits, that money, if this committee is so minded, put that into, give them the extra people, and that should basically cover the cost. But next year, we would have to look at it properly. But as we have this extra cash, then put it, rather than just put it back in the bank, put it towards that.
Yeah,
That was the idea.
I'd like to see
these things have
detailed
a
report.
nasty habit of rolling on, don't they?
Yeah.
This
Once
thing-
you start-
This is second year running. It is,
Once it starts.
we only gave this. I think we did this year, but we did the same amount.
We increased it again.
Yeah, same,
didn't we?
yeah. Halfway through the year.
Yeah, cause it would be good to see what their plan is for becoming sustainable, because it's not sustainable, but.
Well, I'm always reluctant to take on other people's responsibilities. It's like when we take on responsibilities for other authorities. We do landscaping, we look after community buildings now, where normally those assets are looked after by other authorities. Now, mental health is not directly a town council responsibility.
And if
We
you
have
try to
other
reduce it or stop it, then
no
you
one
can.
takes on our responsibilities on our behalf. We have to rely on our own, but we're being asked to take on others. I'm not saying it's wrong. What I'm saying is that it needs to be balanced. I don't know that we've got the balance right. When you look around, I mean, if you sit in a doctor's surgery these days, the amount of mental health support that's being given, whether it's factual or not, or imagery, I don't know. But it seems to be offered on a very wide scale. I have no experience of it, I'm afraid.
When we talk about referrals, they are within our boundary, I presume, are those
yes,
referrals?
yeah.
So I think we do have a duty of care to our community that we pay for the service, but we have to come up with a long-term strategic plan of how much are we willing, how far do we go, because this problem is ever growing in this world, and so we need to account for it accordingly.
Sorry, just off the back of that, we have to put this into the budget. The budget has to go to every single household, and we're only paying for X amount of people to receive that care. So you just got to be mindful of the fact that we start increasing things, we're going to have to increase the budget, and everybody's got to pay for it. And that is not a service that this council, mental health services, is not what.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we should provide it, like you said, Keith, but we've got to watch what we do, because this can get out of hand. So,
Alison.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, obviously, since the last election, we do not have, as a council, the power of competence. So we rely on Section 137 funding, which is limited for an amount per elector. So obviously the pot we can spend on like subsidised swimming, on wellbeing services, we don't have a specific power to provide that service. So it's a Section 137 spend, and it is a limited pot of money. I just need to make you all aware of that.
Course.
So.
Yeah, of course. Chair,
Go on.
Ron suggested using the money from Fenny poppers that are sitting there and just about to go back into earmark reserves. If we're not spending that money, what we could do is spend that money for this year, review everything another day, and review the whole mental health side of things.
I think that was the recommendations from the committee last week. That's what they suggested. They specifically said, you know, this money, Benny's the chair, Councillor Stevens suggested that as a recommendation for you to consider.
Do we then say that the proposal is agreed for this year, but that the budget for next year goes back to 25, 26 levels?
18, yeah, it goes back to 18, whatever it was. Yeah. That was it. That was what was proposed last week.
We come back,
It's a one-off.
we restrict, we accept it for this year. But then we restrict it, or we're recommending that we restrict it for the following years back to its current level.
I think, Chair, I think we should add in that we increase for this year. I don't think we should say we restrict. I think we say we review. And if they can provide evidence ahead of our budget forecast that we need to have more, then with the appropriate evidence, we should consider it. I feel.
We can consider it.
I think we set the expectation to say we increase this, but we will review. It's not a guaranteed increase for furthermore years. We're going to have to review at the end of this financial year.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
It's good. It's good proposal.
Yeah.
That's the personal side.
Yeah. Right, those in favour? Yes, unanimous.
We got that.
Thank you.
I'm just conscious that if we use the word restrict, that can be perceived in a certain way by the community.
Right. Perhaps as I'm getting tight with money again, that's a bad sign.
Who's getting tight?
God,
I'll get tight.
I'll have eaten after me again. Right, item 17, last item, to receive an update report on procurement arrangements for the Sycamore Building Works contract, page 139. Right, now you can see that minor changes have had to be made, primarily because of building regulations. Some of the building is very old, as we all know, and therefore some of the building regulations aren't up to date, and they need to be changed. And therefore, the clerk has approved expenditure of £1,695 for additional technical documents to be added to the Sycamore Building Tender Pack. So I think hang on. Firstly, we need to agree that, and also to note the report, which gives, yes, the building regulations in particular, and also the WC in the council chamber, which is for disabled use. They're recommending changes to that, the design of that, which has resulted in other changes to the mechanical and engineering drawings and so on. Regulations will definitely be necessary whilst the steering group will review further proposals regarding the WC at its next meeting. Meanwhile, the preparation of the revised drawings and technical documents keeps the town council's options open. I think we must also recognise that if that approval hadn't been given quickly, there would have been further delays to the tender process, which has been, as you know, going on for some little while. So I think we can hopefully prove that, or open for comment.
So I think what was said at the meeting was that the reason for the extra technical drawings is that they've got the corridor. The corridor wasn't wide enough. One of the corridors wasn't wide enough for whatever reasons, and that's the reason for the technical drawings and the disabled toilets in the council chambers, whether the disabled toilets are going to be turned around or whether we're going to get rid of the disabled toilet completely, because who actually wants to go to toilet just there, get up and go to toilet just there? I don't think anybody wants to go to toilet inside a council chamber. So that's one of them questions that we'll decide upon, whether we're going to be taking out the disabled toilets, which will give us some savings again. That's something to discuss, and then to change the layout and widen the corridor. So that's the reason why we're getting the technical drawings done.
But the reason that the toilet was put in there was to try and make the future council chamber self-contained, so that people wouldn't have to go out into the hall. But I think now, with the extra corridor in, you can gain access to the toilet facilities without going through the main hall.
That's right.
So I think that would be a consideration for the working group. It's a minor change, but it's worth doing if it can work out right. So to note the report and to ratify the expenditure. Are there any other comments? No? Seconder?
Second.
Those agreed, favour?
Agreed.
That's unanimous. Thank you very much. That ends the meeting. Thank you all very much for attending.
Recording 2017.
minutes.